friction.
Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Farewell Star Trek Picard. Just a short review. Well, I've got mixed feelings about this as a final. I have to say it wasn't half bad. I mean, there is some bits in it which I thought got written off pretty quick, like the whole song thing. But there was a couple of unexpected moments that did surprise me. Now, people are they're gonna say, well, you know, we're a bit shit and we expected a lot more. But it were more of a philosophical type episode of emotions, which was interesting about dealing with your past and moving on into the future. And I suppose a lot of people can relate to that, yet Star Trek is open to many interpretations, you know. Like when Q said to Picard in the final 2 episodes of Next Gen, he said it's not about looking out there, it's about looking at existence itself, you know, in the mind, you know, even just for a second you get it. I suppose we were trying to go down that path, but where do we start, right? I mean, we got the whole Renee Picard thing. Laris sacrificed herself after Sung had tried to poison her at NASA, but she got her on the ship and she went off to Jupiter on the Europa mission. Laris died, but she told Picard, you know, if there's a version, you know, my descendant in the future, tell her, don't hold back, you know, and that was interesting. And so, like, that happens, and then it's still running around in my head, like, well, there's like Sung's daughter, right? She deletes all these. She's in a library somewhere. She deletes all of Sung's files, and which is sort of interesting. And you know, she ruins him. And she said, "This is for all my sisters, in your experiments." And then she walking around, and you're not gonna believe this. Fucking Wesley Crusher turns up. He's a traveller. And then we find out what Laris works for. It's the travellers. They're the ones that guard the tapestry of time and reality and all this. You know, and they've been watching anyway. You know, and he gives her a choice. You can have a normal life where it'll be amazing. You'll meet somebody, do great things. Or you can get an answer to everything that's out there. Everything. But it's dangerous, you know. And she says, I've never been safe. I mean, it's quite a nice moment. It was nice seeing Wesley Crusher, actually. Okay, it was interesting. It's like threads from a long time ago were sort of like closing it up round Picard. So they beam out of wherever they've gone into the universe, right? And then we jump on like Picard. He meets Q, and Q tells him, like, well, basically, I'm dying. I don't want to die alone. And, you know, all these events that have been created, it's not about Renee Picard, we're about a key from his childhood. And it comes out Q actually loves Picard like a child, you know, like a father. You know, he cares about him, and he's dying, and he just wants to do something. He tells him, he said, you know, even a god has favourites, you know. I'm dying alone, and so you don't. Do we know like big thing about the continuum or whatever's going on with them? So it ends up like Raffi. There's Raffi and Seven of Nine. I think she's been sold to use this thing. Jerry Ryan. I really do. It's a shame, really. And it looked like, because you see, I said to me on the podcast to my co-host, I had a chat with him last week, and we did discuss it today. we knew several weeks ago that Jurati was from episode 1. They always like put an Easter egg in there where you can, if you figure it out, you can work out the entire series. Now, a lot of people probably will be hoping for like big things going on in this. You know, like lots of like the big questions with the big answers. We don't, we sort of get some of that, but it's like you basically die. Don't really go into why. But obviously the cosmic entities, they get the time, and it's the way it is. And it's like, you know, it goes into about his childhood, and you've got to move on. This is what I've been trying to teach you, and all this. And because, you know, and Picard's going, why? And then he sort of explains it to him. I mean, I'm going to watch this again, actually. And then Picard goes into the room where all others are. Rios is now going to stay behind and have a great life in the 21st century. Get married, you know, all that. He don't go back into the future with them. And it's not like what we predicted. That we go back to the Stargazer scene and the whole fleet's going to explode, the Borg's there. And he says, stop, countdown, and then she downloads herself in. Well, she connects to all of the starships, and we find out there's this anomaly as like a transwarp conduit that opens up within the galaxy somewhere, and the energy that's coming out of it will destroy a big sector of space, and this is why Borg have turned up. And she turns out, well, anyway, they've got to put the shields together to deflect this like energy and a big energy wave, and they do that, and it comes out that there is another force behind this like wormhole transwarp conduit. Even the Borg don't know why they fully exist. It's a bit of a mystery, but there's a force behind it, so I assume this is going to be next series, and this is where Wesley Crusher and the Traveller and all this sort of comes into it. I mean, now what was interesting, again, Star Trek continuity, it's not very good, is it? I mean, when Sung gets all his stuff wiped on his computer, he opens the file and he's been offered a thing on Project Khan. You know, something, I think it's a Project Khan, it was something like that. In the book it's Project Chrysalis, but obviously it's, you know, so he gets involved in some kind of think tank that are going to create superhumans, but then what eugenics was setting down to, I mean, I'd bollocks, I don't know. Let's just, it is what it is. They're going to obviously set the stage. That could be a hint to the Khan series, what they're on about. You know, the rumoured one, which I'd like to see, but they'll probably fuck it up. But it wasn't a bad episode. I mean, it resolved things, but you're not going to get big cosmic answers and that edge of your seat moment. It's enjoyable, and that's it. I mean, the thing with Q, you do feel for him, but again, I think John Delancey was so wasted in this series, and he did basically, you know, you're one of my favourite pets, Picard. You know what I mean? And I just don't want, I want you to be happy. I want you to have somebody in your life. And it's like, Q's like, well, I'm going now. And then they end up back on Stargate. Well, that's basically Elnor's alive. But Q said there will be a surprise. I mean, I don't know, so stop this event. Q's disappeared. He's obviously gone to Q heaven or wherever they go. Or he's become, but I would have had it, that transwarp conduit thing, that were him dying. That were all energy coming out of it. That's where I'd have gone. No, it's just, he were dying and they stopped that thing, and that's all the power coming out of him. That would have been sort of interesting. But it wasn't bad. I mean, look, I've seen better endings, but the whole thing was, I don't know, it's an emotional ride with it, do you know what I mean? And it does resolve quite nicely. I have to say, it's quite nicely. I mean, it wasn't bad. I'm sat on the fence for this. They pulled a fast one here, you know, because I was expecting this to be like the last series, you know, where you get the really terrible ending. Do you know what I mean? It's oh God, are we gonna get a Wesley Crusher TV series? Are we? No. But it's interesting, the whole thing. So Sung's daughter, Soji, she's gone off with him. But it's interesting, you do want to know more about these supervisors that guard reality and that protect everything. And it's interesting in what it says. Civilization survives, a world dies, the sun lives, a ship gets destroyed. That everything that when you're trying to keep it all is this thing of reality, but there's threads that keep coming loose and they have to put them back. Things have to play out. Sort of interesting. But then obviously the transwarp conduit thing is going to be the setup for season 3. And so it looks like the Q Continuum is still going to be there, you know, because he said he's dying alone. He made that clear, he said, I'm dying alone. So it was, you know, not a bad episode. I don't know, but I think I was expecting some massive, super revelation about the Q Continuum. I wanted this to be a Q-focused episode about are they all dying, is the Continuum dying, and they're being replaced by something else. They've had their time, the Universal Order, that they've been top at trade and something, it's just natural, you know, but no, we didn't get that. So we're moving into season 3 to set it up with the transwarp conduit. I mean, 700 years time. I mean, space travel gets wiped out, doesn't it? You know, because of a child in Discovery has a fate and then takes out every dilithium crystal in the universe and whatever. But then there's a big dirty great transwarp conduit there. Obviously, that won't be there by the end of the next series. But it ends up where, like, Jurassi's now 400 years, merged with the Borg Queen. There's something new. The Borg, they're not like the war. And after they stop this big, like, energy wave, she says, we'd like to join the Federation. You know, we are the Borg. We'd like to join the Federation. And we will guard this transwarp conduit thing. We will be the key we will be the gateway to it, you know, because obviously there's going to be something on the other side. So maybe it's connected to season 1. Do you remember them when they opened that portal with them artificial life form? Them synth, maybe it's them on the other side, and they're coming through it next series. But I just think they could have kept him around for next series. He might even turn up. But I don't know. But then does it? Have they? I mean, if the Borg Queen went back 400 years ago, and then went through back into the thing of the future, then what about all what's happened with Borg then? Or I mean, I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to watch it again to work. I mean, to work a lot of this out. But obviously things have happened. And then there's a nice reunion in the bar where they're all like family. But Rio's got a good life. I was hoping we'd get a Stargazer series, which I know there was a lot of movement for online about that. Well, I have to say, it was better than the last season's final. I mean, I'm sat on the fence as a final episode for this. It wasn't bad. It could have been better, but there were a few surprises in there, and I think the Wesley Crusher thing, that sort of worked. And I know people have views on Wesley Crusher. Well, I didn't mind him, to be honest. Thought it was nice seeing him, actually. And I thought it was a nice little touch what they put in there. They kept that quiet. You know, and Project Can't, I liked all that. So Sung is one of the greats of genetic super soldier. But I just found that some of these storylines that were set up 5, 6, 7 episodes really just got sort of just fell by wayside. you know, and then Picard goes back to his chateau. She's fixed his his extension outside his house, and she's gonna leave, but he says, look, you know, I'm not living in the past, I'm looking at the future, and you know, with you, so obviously there's a whole rum thing between them both now, you know, so, and we get the original Guinan back, and she says Rios had a really good life, you know, and his son saved the oceans and healed the skies and all this. I mean, I have to say, it tried to be positive, which, considering with recent Star Trek I've been watching, there hasn't been a lot of optimism in it, has there? You know, but this was, in some respects, it was quite optimistic, you know, and it did lead a few paths where you could, how do you say, explore different avenues. Not bad. Maybe when I watch it again, I might change my mind, but from what I saw, it was okay. So, do I watch Strange New Worlds next, or do I save it till Saturday? I don't know. I might leave it 24 hours. I think you know. But Picard, you got through slightly this week. Well done, I suppose. You know, I did want so much more about the Q Continuum. I really, for me, you know, I wanted a lot more with that. It's just that you cared about him, you know, and this is what it's all been about. And he don't want it before he dies. He don't want to see him all alone or something. Maybe it's like you, I don't know. But it will be interesting. Me, I'd have had it as he were dying. That were all energy beam, but that's like the death of the Q, and they have to stop it, you know, and that's it. So, but I'll see you on. Well, that's the end of this series. So the next, we'll be starting the Strange New Worlds, starting from this week. So I'll see you on the next review. The podcast will be up tomorrow. And have a great weekend. The sun's out, and live long and prosper.